The Mesozoic Era was a world of titans and terrors, a landscape dominated by creatures that have captured the human imagination like no others. For over 160 million years, dinosaurs reigned supreme, filling every ecological niche imaginable. But for centuries, the primary question that plagued paleontologists was a simple, primal one: what did they eat? To the casual observer, the answer might seem obvious. Sharp teeth meant meat, flat teeth meant plants. But the reality of reconstructing the dietary habits of animals that have been dead for 66 million years is a forensic puzzle of immense complexity. It requires looking beyond the obvious silhouettes of claws and jaws to the microscopic scratches on tooth enamel, the chemical signatures locked inside fossilized bone, and the rare, petrified remains of their last meals. This is the story of how science is reconstructing the dining tables of the deep past, revealing a world far more complex, dynamic, and surprising than we ever dared to imagine. The most direct link to an animal's diet is the machinery it uses to process food. Dinosaur dentition is a study in evolutionary engineering, with each lineage developing specialized tools to exploit their specific corner of the food web. Let us begin with the most famous of them all, the bone crusher, Tyrannosaurus rex. For decades, T-Rex was depicted as a sleek, if heavy, hunter. But recent biomechanical studies have transformed our understanding of the king of the tyrant lizards. The secret lies not just in the sharpness of its teeth, but in the architecture of its skull. Unlike most reptiles, which have kinetic or flexible skulls to swallow prey whole, T-Rex possessed a fused, rigid skull structure capable of handling immense stress. Finite element analysis, a technology originally designed for engineering bridges and aircraft, has revealed that a T-Rex jaw could exert a bite force of over 8,000 pounds, or 35,000 newtons. This is equivalent to the weight of 3 small cars crashing down on a single point. But force is nothing without the tools to apply it. T-Rex teeth were not merely knives, they were railroad spikes. They were thick, banana-shaped, and serrated. This morphology allowed them to withstand the pressure of crushing bone. We know this because of the damage they left behind. Paleontologists have found hadrosaur or duck-billed dinosaur, bones with T-Rex teeth embedded in them, healed over time, proving these were active hunts. More gruesome, however, are the shattered bone fragments found in coprolites, or fossilized feces, attributed to T-Rex. These fragments indicate extreme osteophagy, which is the consumption of bone. By pulverizing the skeletons of their prey, tyrannosaurs accessed nutrient-rich marrow, a food source unavailable to smaller predators with weaker jaws. On the other end of the spectrum lies Triceratops. Often lazily compared to a rhinoceros, its feeding mechanism was actually far more sophisticated than any modern grazer. While cows and horses grind their food with a side-to-side motion, Triceratops possessed a vertical shearing mechanism. Its jaws were packed with hundreds of teeth stacked in batteries. As the animal chewed, the teeth slid past each other like giant, self-sharpening scissors. Recent microscopic analysis of these teeth has revealed a complexity of dental tissues, specifically enamel, orthodentin, and vasodentine, that rivals the complexity of mammalian teeth. This multi-tissue structure allowed the teeth to wear down at different rates, creating a fuller, or a recessed channel, on the blade that reduced friction. This suggests Triceratops was not just grazing on soft grass, which had not fully taken over the world yet, but was shearing through incredibly tough fibrous vegetation like cycads and palm fronds that would have worn down lesser teeth in weeks. Then we have the grinding giants, the hadrosaurs. These duck-billed dinosaurs were the cows of the Cretaceous, but with a twist. Their dental batteries were vast, containing up to 1,400 teeth. Unlike the shearing action of ceratopsians, hadrosaurs employed a complex grinding motion. For years, a debate raged about pleurokinesis, the idea that the hadrosaur's upper jaw could flex outwards to accommodate the lower jaw's grinding. Recent 3D modeling suggests that while some flexibility existed, the primary grinding action came from the lower jaw rotating slightly. This effectively turned their mouths into organic millstones, capable of processing huge quantities of abrasive horsetails and conifers. When physical evidence, like teeth and jaws, leaves room for doubt, paleontologists turn to chemistry. The chemical elements that make up an animal's food are incorporated into their bones and teeth, leaving an atomic signature that lasts for millions of years. This allows us to map the isoscapes of the Mesozoic. One of the great mysteries of the Morrison Formation, a Jurassic ecosystem in North America, is how so many gigantic sauropods like Diplodocus, Camarasaurus, Brachiosaurus, and Apatosaurus coexisted without eating each other out of house and home. The answer lies in niche partitioning, revealed through calcium isotopes. Plants process calcium differently, depending on where they grow and what part of the plant is being analyzed. Wood, leaves, and seeds all have distinct ratios of calcium 44 to calcium 40. By analyzing the tooth enamel of these Jurassic giants, scientists found distinct differences. Camarasaurus teeth showed isotopic signatures consistent with a diet of woody material and coarser vegetation, likely browsed from mid-level heights. Diplodocus, with its peg-like teeth and horizontal neck posture, had signatures matching softer, lower-level ferns and horsetails. They were not competing for the same food. They were effectively eating from different shelves of the same forest. Isotope analysis also solved the Spinosaurus water debate. For decades, Spinosaurus was a riddle. Was it a terrestrial predator that simply looked like a crocodile, or was it truly aquatic? The oxygen isotope story helped settle the debate. Oxygen isotopes in drinking water and food are incorporated into bone phosphate. Aquatic animals, which live in water and drink constantly, tend to have lower variability in their oxygen isotopes compared to terrestrial animals, who lose water through evaporation and drink sporadically. When researchers compared the oxygen isotopes of Spinosaurus teeth to those of known terrestrial theropods and aquatic crocodiles from the same formation, the results were clear. Spinosaurus plotted right alongside the crocodiles and turtles. It was not just dipping its toes in. It was a semi-aquatic specialist, spending a significant portion of its life in the water, hunting fish, a conclusion bolstered by the recent discovery of its paddle-like tail. Sometimes, the fossil record grants a miracle in the form of a look inside the stomach itself. These finds are rare, requiring exceptional preservation conditions, but they offer the only indisputable proof of diet. In Australia, a recent discovery rocked the paleontological world. A sauropod named Diamantinosaurus was found with a collolyte, a mass of fossilized gut contents. For the first time, we could see exactly what a titanosaur ate. The mass contained a mix of conifer branches, ferns, and, crucially, angiosperms or flowering plants. The sheer volume of material, and the fact that the twigs were snapped rather than ground, confirmed that these giants were bulk browsers. They did not chew, they stripped branches and swallowed them whole, relying on a massive fermentation vat of a stomach to break down the cellulose. The presence of flowering plants also proved that sauropods were adaptable, readily switching to new food sources as the botanical world evolved around them. This leads us to the myth of the gastrolith. For years, it was common knowledge that sauropods swallowed stones, called gastroliths, to grind food in a muscular gizzard, much like modern chickens. It was a neat theory that explained how they processed food without chewing. However, modern research has largely debunked this gastric mill hypothesis for sauropods. When paleontologists compared the mass of stones found in sauropod torsos to those in modern ostriches, the ratios did not add up. An ostrich gastroliths make up about 1% of its body mass. In sauropods, the stones found, when they are found at all, account for less than 0.1%. Furthermore, the stones often lack the heavy polish seen in bird gizzard stones. The current consensus is that sauropods likely swallowed stones accidentally while browsing low to the ground, or perhaps in small numbers for mineral intake. But they did not have a bird-like gizzard. Their digestion was chemical, driven by gut bacteria in a massive cecum, rather than mechanical. If teeth are the tools, and stomach contents are the pantry, then coprolites are the trash can. And as any detective knows, the trash tells the truth. Karen Chin, a paleontologist at the University of Colorado Boulder, is the world's leading expert on dinosaur dung. Her work has elevated the study of coprolites from bathroom humor to high science. One of the most famous specimens is a massive coprolite attributed to T. rex. It is over 40 centimeters long and filled with pulverized bone. This single specimen provided the smoking gun for the bone-crushing hypothesis. But more importantly, it revealed the speed of digestion. The bone fragments were angular and sharp, not rounded or etched by acid. This suggests that T. rex had a relatively short digestive tract for its size, passing food quickly to maximize protein absorption from the meat, while expelling the indigestible bone before it could cause internal damage. Chin's work on hadrosaur coprolites from Montana revealed something even more startling. The dung was packed with rotting wood and crushed invertebrate shells or crustaceans. Why would a herbivore eat rotting wood? It offers almost no nutritional value on its own. The hypothesis is that these dinosaurs were targeting the fungi and invertebrates living in the rotting wood. This behavior, known as detritivory, suggests that hadrosaurs were not just munching on fresh leaves. They were flexible foragers who may have supplemented their diet with extra protein from crustaceans during egg-laying season, much like modern female birds eat snail shells for calcium. Finally, the study of diet leads us to behavior. How did these animals interact with each other in their own kind? The Mygat Moore Quarry in Colorado is a mass grave of Jurassic dinosaurs, mostly Allosaurus. But a closer look at the bones revealed something chilling. Hundreds of bones bore the serrated bite marks of theropods. When researchers measured the spacing of the tooth marks, they found that many matched the size of Allosaurus teeth. But the bones being bitten were also Allosaurus. While predators often fight, these marks were on low-value bones like toes and the ends of ribs, parts you only eat if the carcass has already been picked clean. This was not a fight. It was scavenging. In times of drought or environmental stress, Allosaurus turned to the only available food source, each other. It paints a picture of a harsh, unforgiving world where the line between predator and prey could vanish in a season of hunger. One of the most heated recent debates concerns the face of the dinosaur. Did they have exposed, crocodile-like teeth, or were they covered by soft tissues, specifically lips? For a long time, the exposed tooth look, popularized by Jurassic Park, was the standard. But recent studies published in Science have challenged this. When teeth are exposed to air, the enamel dries out and becomes brittle. Crocodile teeth are tough enough to withstand this, but theropod enamel was thinner. Microscopic analysis of Spinosaurus, a tyrannosaur, showed that the enamel was pristine, lacking the weathering pattern seen in crocodiles. This strongly suggests that even the mighty T-Rex had lips, scaly, lizard-like lips, that kept their teeth moist and protected. This changes not just the artwork, but our understanding of their feeding. Lips would have helped seal the mouth, perhaps aiding in suction or manipulating food, and certainly protecting the weapons that were so vital to their survival. No discussion of dinosaur diets is complete without the oddballs, and Tyrannosaurus is the ultimate dietary paradox. It belongs to the theropods, the same lineage as T-Rex and Velociraptor, but it abandoned meat. With a potbelly designed for fermenting plants, a small head with leaf-shaped teeth, and massive, 3-foot-long claws on its hands, it looked like a fantasy monster. But those claws were not for slashing prey. They were likely used like giant rakes to pull down tree branches, much like a giant ground sloth, or perhaps to strip bark. Tyrannosaurus represents the extreme plasticity of the dinosaur diet, proof that with enough time, evolution can turn a lineage of hypercarnivores into the most bizarre gardeners the world has ever seen. The question of what dinosaurs ate has moved far beyond simple categorization. It has become a window into the energy flows of the Mesozoic. We now see a world where giant sauropods acted as forest pruners, shaping the canopy, where Triceratops acted as prehistoric hedge trimmers, clearing the understory, and where T-Rex served as the ultimate recycler, crushing the bones of the dead to return nutrients to the soil. Through the microscopic scratches on a tooth, the atomic weight of a calcium atom, and the petrified remains of a prehistoric lunch, we have reconstructed not just a diet, but an ecosystem. The claws and jaws were not just weapons of war, they were the tools of life.